It's beautiful. It has a big playing ground. It has a big field. It has a volleyball pitch. It has a football pitch. It has a beautiful library. It has a water system toilet. The hall is beautiful. The nursery classes are beautiful. And our classrooms is as well beautiful. Yes. Thank you.
Data is working. The people are smiling. The finger of God is working. And the people are smiling. Affordable education.
But strictly speaking, this is a professional ministry of teachers. We formulate policies on teaching and learning, and we implement same. Before the Uduaghan administration came on board, the state of the infrastructure in our secondary and primary schools was very horrible. And you cannot pin this down to any particular government, I mean this decade. Because some of the schools we are talking about in Delta State were established as far back as 1890s and 1895. But they are very old schools. We have about 1,500 primary schools in Delta State. And I'm saying about 97% of those schools were missionary schools or private schools or community schools that were taken over by government. And you see, governments were thinking that when you take over schools, just payment of salary. In fact, that is the least of the problem. It's the least of the problems in any school system. Because you must maintain the infrastructure, there's running cost. The body suddenly became too heavy. And so successive governments could not maintain the infrastructure. And that same body fell heavily on the neck of the governor. And the way he has gone about it is wonderful. I speak, we have touched almost 300 secondary schools. The suburb itself has touched about 100 secondary schools.
The ones we do is a mirror image of what you have in the model schools. Delta State is among the top performing states in terms of assessing their funds. They've done so, and we've done up to 2012. We're expecting that in 2013 too, we will assess our funds and use them judiciously like we have always done.
The project going on now, I thank God, because actually it is to the glory of God. At least the students now, they can sit down and learn comfortably in a peaceful environment.
Affordable education, good road and transportation, power supply, and service like never before.
Now, the government of Delta State, because it's in a hurry to develop the infrastructure in our schools, set up a special ministry, the Ministry for Special Infrastructure.
In dealing with them, this infrastructure, we try to deal with them through the ministries. But I also noticed somewhere along the line that there was so much bureaucracy that was slowing down our projects. And so I put up a special outfit called the Special Infrastructure Department directly under my office. And it is through that outfit that we're driving a lot of infrastructure projects.
Under this directorate, we're actually currently doing a total rehabilitation of 50 schools. And we're constructing 10 new brand model primary schools as well. One of them, a model of the model primary school, is the one opposite the dome. We have that across the 3 senatorial districts. So altogether, we have 60 schools under rehabilitation and also freshly built.
When you see some of the model schools in Delta State, if you are a Deltan, you really feel proud. And you wonder, where did this magic come from?
For the social infrastructure, we have the area of schools. For schools, we have tried to do the primary, secondary, providing good shelter for our children by renovating our schools and building new ones at the primary and secondary levels. Buildings that are of world class that we are proud of as Delta. Not just the buildings, but also putting some basic things, the benches, laboratories, ICT rooms and all that into some of the schools. And that has made the learning environment of our children much better than what it used to be. We still have a long way to go in that area because we still have a lot of schools to deal with because our schools are very many.
Most of these schools have been finished, while some are just almost rounding up. And because of that, the governor approved for a second batch of schools again. So we have about 55 schools in batch 2. Right now, the consultant is scoping.
Building new ones, renovating the old ones, equipping them so that they are of the same standard with any school anywhere in the world. Now, with all these ones, we are hoping that people will embrace education more than they used to do.
Go unguarded and unguided. Just enter Delta State. Visit any school of your choice. Visit any local government of your choice. And you see what we are doing.
You can see there's much improvement. They have renovated everywhere. We have a story building now. We have different facilities that enhance good learning. With all these facilities, you can see that we can just stand out with other schools, compete with them. In short, we can deal with them. And we'll prove to him that for what he did, this Zappa Basic School shall be known all over the state.
See over there is the water board and the new classroom that's been newly renovated by the government. And you can see the provision of electricity.
Uduaghan, make it go. We enjoy you, Baba, make it go. We make it go. The go, ya Baba, make it go.
When we enter a school, bring it down. Bring down all structures that are bad. When we get there, is the building and the furniture. It does not make sense that a roof is leaking. Then you spend money and buy brand new furniture and put in that same leaking roof. No, let us take care of the building that we furnish. So all the jobs we are giving out for renovation and rebuilding of schools have to do with both building and furniture. Actually, Uduaghan is a miracle of the band. Uduaghan is relocated from where it was. That's the school that was built in the 1890s, one of the oldest schools in Nigeria. You know, the missionaries had a very early contact with Asaba, right? Now, Uduaghan was very close to the market, the Ogbogonogo market. And when the governor visited, he just said there was no way a school could share boundary with the market. And so we decided we should relocate it to somewhere opposite St. Bridget. St. Patrick's is like a university. And if you go to Osadenis right now in Asaba, St. Patrick's Year that everybody is very proud of, we pay little significance. Everything brought down. All the buildings have been brought down. And in the next 1 month, if His Excellency has the time, he will go and commission that structure, that school. Then we have Asagba. Asagba is, again, almost like a university. All structures brought down. And when we bring them down, it's not just the buildings. They go with furnishing.
I think it's great. It's a great project. Thanks coming from the Delta State government. We appreciate the work. They have state-of-the-art facilities. It's great.
Government really liked us by providing a good system of learning, by providing a library and a laboratory for us. I think the school here is good.
I really enjoyed the building and all that because it was not an easy thing. Remember when we were in the last old building, how we suffered. So I really thank God and also thank the government for that.
No, actually, we were learning under ordinary zinc. There was no ceiling, I mean to say. There was no ceiling. So whenever the sun is overhead the equator, the thing comes directly on the students. And it makes us not to learn properly in class.
The buildings, the classrooms, they are very conducive for learning. We don't sweat the way we do sweat before.
Actually, we enjoy this school. It's nice. The government are doing a good job. I prefer this one to the former one.
The environment is beautiful. When the environment is good, the children will learn and learn very well.
School I know, similar ones are being built in the different places in the states. They have some in the Warri area. They have another one in Saple and so on.
In 2012 alone, the government budgeted 11 billion naira, about 11.45 billion naira for infrastructural upgrades in our schools. ICT is taken for granted. In St. Patrick's, if for any reason there is no electricity for all of 20 days, what we have there can power the ICT center. Without power from PHCN or our generators. So when you take a school, it's total concept. We call it the total concept. The building, the furnishing, the equipping of the school. All our model schools are boarding schools. Where our intention is to establish more model schools. Okay? Like Osaden, it's any moment from now will be a model school. Once it is commissioned, it becomes a model school. There are others we are thinking about.
We've never had it so good. At least I've been in this profession for some years, over 20 to 30 years now. We've never had such infrastructural changes, massive infrastructural changes. What you are seeing here is what you see in other local government areas. It's not as if it is only done in the Delta North or Delta, all parts of the state having massive infrastructural changes. And that shows that the governor is carrying everybody along.
I like everything about the new facility because everything seems okay now, unlike before when the buildings are tattered and everything. It has been a kind of reconstructed and everything is okay. It looks like a more modernized school now than before.
To start with, every teacher in Delta State, both in the primary school and in the secondary school, is a professional. He's a trained teacher. It's not just, the schools are not just a white sepulchre. You know, you see them fine outside, inside nothing, no. And when you have trained teachers, you pay them well. You pay them well. Teachers in Delta State are the best paid in Nigeria. I repeat, teachers in Delta State are the best paid in Nigeria today. Early in January, the governor approved